Hey friends, EJ here from the Back Porch Antiques in Greenville, Tennessee, coming to you with yet another absolutely priceless video that you should enjoy, and I'm certain that you will. Today we're going to talk about shipping Fenton glassware specifically. Now, I've come to you before about shipping glassware. I think there's a video that we've done about shipping glassware, but come to find out, Fenton owners and collectors and buyers are a little bit more specific about how they desire their Fenton glassware to be shipped. And since I have recently sold a couple hundred pieces of it, knock on wood, we haven't had any casualties yet. And I have learned their preference in shipping Fenton glassware and other sorts of glassware, but specifically art glass. And I'll show you how. I'm going to ship a couple pieces, package a couple of pieces, and get those out tomorrow. And I'll let you watch as we go. So I got a couple pieces of Fenton here, a Fenton figurine there, bird figurine, and a lidded dish. Maybe it's a compote, maybe it's a candy dish. I'm not sure exactly, but that is a lidded dish. And then this pretty cool piece here, this Burmese hand-painted lady's hat, which is pretty cool, hand-painted and signed. With it comes the display piece there, and I'll show you how to package those safely. Now, one thing that Fenton people are pretty serious about is not using newspaper. And I hadn't really thought of that, but Fenton people don't like you using newspaper to package with because the ink on the newspaper will rub off on the art glass, and they don't want that. Of course, they want their glass to arrive as it is described and exquisitely packaged, and that's exactly the way we do it here at the Back Porch Antiques. So I'll show you what we do with things like this. So they also like new boxes. They don't like reused boxes. New boxes are more sturdy, and rightfully so. So I keep a stock of different size boxes on hand. This piece here is a 8x8x8 and is perfect for figurines by themselves or pieces like this of this size. You always want to be extremely careful in packaging these because the least little nick or chip or crack extremely devalues a piece of art glass or other glass, but especially Fenton. So I always start with taping the bottom of the box, and I'm sure that's probably pretty loud in the microphones. But I'm always redundant on my tape. I tape both ways, the length of the box and then on the sides, on both sides, so that the particular piece does not come loose in packaging. If you ship enough glass, eventually a piece is going to be broken. It's going to get ran over by a mail truck. It's going to get fallen on by a delivery guy. Eventually something's going to happen, but you always want to put insurance on it, and you always want to package the piece well enough so that the only way it can be damaged is if the box in its entirety is damaged. You never want to have any kind of motion or movement inside the box. You want to have so much packaging that the only way that it's going to be damaged is if the entire box is crushed. So what I use for filler material is a huge roll of unprinted newspaper. You can get this at about any printing place. Newspapers will sell it to you. And this is the stuff newspapers are made out of without the ink. So I rip a pretty good piece of that off, cram it in there, and use that as the bottom. As you can see there, it covers everything and gives plenty of packaging on the inside. Now we move to our specific piece. Because this is a hand-painted piece, has a satin sheen to it, and is very delicate, the first step that I will do is actually do a base layer of a soft, not toilet paper, but paper towel. And we'll wrap it in that so that any kind of bubble wrap or any kind of rough top textured material will not damage the paint of the piece. So delicately, we wrap it in that, take a piece of tape and tighten it down. If it's a small piece like this, I'll fold, kind of like you're wrapping a present, being extremely careful as to not damage the piece. And oftentimes I will do folds in opposite directions so that gives fluff on both sides of the piece. Now, after we've done that, I take my handy dandy roll of bubble wrap, and I will get enough to where you have too much. That's just as simple as I know how to do it. Too much is just enough in bubble wrap. Also, I suggest using the big bubbles, not the small bubbles. If you use the small bubbles, there's not as much cushion in them. I always go kind of diagonal, and I wrap it, and it's going to be about 4 rotations to be perfect. And I will tape that in the middle. I'll have to move to my big piece, big tape, to bring the ends over. So I'm going to go one way, tape that down, and then I'll go the other way for that. So now if you see, there's probably 2 to 3 inches of bubble wrap cushion in any direction of this particular piece of Fenton. I could, but I will not, throw this across the floor, and it shouldn't damage. So this is also going to be about the same as the diagonal of the box. We'll put that in there diagonally. Get some more of our handy dandy wrapping paper here, and newspaper, blank newspaper, whatever it is you want to call it. And I normally do 2 full rotations there. Now, in this particular, it's a little tricky right here. In this particular thing, you'll notice there's some airspace in the corners, 2 of the corners, but not the other 2 where the bubble wrap's at. So what I'm going to do is double this over and put that down in those corners so there is no dry space. It's also kind of protruding up a little bit, and I will push that down with the lids of the box so that when I pick it up and shake it, it literally does not move. There's so much packaging in there. That's what you want. Then you're going to do the top with my handy dandy 3-inch packaging tape. Side note, duct tape does not work. Duct tape is good for everything, but shit does. We'll put it in there, push it down real good. Feel like that was just a tad too long. I'm a little bit OCD about this, but you should be. And I put that just like that. None of the lids can come open. Nothing can move around. You have an extremely safe box. Except for the fact that I forgot to put that in it. But I'll do that after this video, and we'll tear that back apart and put that down in there and ship it with it, because the buyer bought them both, and we don't want to send them just one because they wouldn't be happy. And I don't really blame them. But anyway, that's kind of a roundabout about how you package a piece of glassware. Maybe some other time when we've got a little bit more time, we'll do like maybe a larger piece in double boxing. The way that I like to do that is double box something. Box this piece in a box a little bigger than this, as good as I did with this one. And then I will box this piece in its entirety in the box, inside another box, packaged well. And again, the only way it can receive damage is if it is literally crushed with the box in its entirety. So anyway, just a little bit of a tip about how to safely and securely ship a piece of art glass or other fragile pieces. If you have any questions or suggestions, feel free to shoot them. And as always, do me a favor and like our channel and subscribe. See you later.